So here I am, because someone who should be serving coffee as opposed to telling the greatest stories of the modern age forgot to show up. So the Gnome Avenger is here as a hero for you, listener, a hero for those who depend on us to lift their souls out of the doldrums of existence. Today's story is a story of the greatest magic and power there ever was. Love. Welcome to Witch-Light Monologues. Moonrise in the city. So, I work for the city in my job. Well, it's not too exciting. Nothing glamorous, nothing dangerous. I monitor the scryers. You've probably seen them. They're the little magical orbs in neon blue and white hovering over the intersections of willow trees. Wherever the ley lines get, well, the technical term is wonky. So I watch the city through the scryers. Mostly I monitor magical infestations and traffic problems and report them to the Academy's Wayfinders, or the city's rangers, or the witches' councils, you know, the real heroes. Mostly it's looking out for wandering dragon carts or broom crashes. Sometimes, if we're lucky, we catch a crime or a missing child. I mean, not that it's lucky to have a crime happen or a child go missing. Frightening experience in the city, being so close to the greens. I only meant, well, watching scrying screens all day makes one feel obviously like a spectator. It's always motivating, enriching to see that one's job can make a real difference. Not that most of the time it's just, traffic and magic infestations. Like, for instance, do you know there's a witch-light hatching not 5 blocks from here? I think of myself as a collector of beautiful experiences. I vacation to pretty and interesting places, waterfalls, canyons. I love art galleries. I make a hobby of circulating pretty and interesting photos and things I've collected in my apartment. I change it at least once a month, like a new art exhibit. I call it shopping from home. But anyway, this one time, well, no, not one time, I'm Linus, by the way. Moss. It's a very lovely name. Very interesting, yeah. Quite, I'm not perverse or anything. I hope you can believe me when I say that. Please, believe me. It's my job to see things. It's usually boring, but one day I see this woman, really pretty, looking up at the scryer and smiling. So peaceful and serene with a sort of delicate wildness about her. In fact, absolutely gorgeous. And I thought, wow, what a peaceful, serene, and absolutely gorgeous woman. And that might have been the end of it. But a few days later, I saw her again. And again, same street. I moved the scryer around to investigate what she was looking at, but it was nothing magical. And yet this woman kept coming to the same corner, always looking up at the same scryer and smiling. And I know she wasn't smiling for me. Or if she was, she didn't know it was me. She was probably seeing something pretty and interesting just above the scryer. But I couldn't help but notice no one else seemed to see it. This is a city of tourists. All over the place. People see something pretty and interesting. They stop and take a picture of it or point it out to someone else. Most of the time, the beautiful thing they see is just out of sight of the scryers. We aim those at very specific places. where there's a confluence of ley lines or a lot of pedestrians. And my point is, I like to go out and see what people see and point out to each other. In my off hours, of course. For instance, did you know there's a building on Bone Street with a mural and people have graffitied poetry all over it? And there's a high-rise with a balcony whose owners have grown their ivy to spell out, "Good morning, sunshine." And that's lovely. I got a picture of it. You want to see? Yes, the mouth of the J-line. People come out of the cold, dark underground and look up, and there's this neat little balcony just saying, "Good morning, sunshine." Anyway, well, I simply had to see what fascinated this lovely lady every day, you know? To see whatever it was the scryer wasn't detecting. When I got to that corner, this corner, in fact, I didn't see anything special at first. No interesting trees or pretty buildings. I thought I might have missed it entirely, but then I saw it. The moon rising in the city. Right there. You see it too? Perfect, isn't it? I'm sure you figured out by now. Well, I hope this isn't too unpleasant or uncomfortable for you. This is rather new, a new kind of experience for me, but you're the only one who sees the moonrise. You see it, and you smile at it every day, and that's the most beautiful thing I can imagine. And I would like to see more beautiful things with you. So if you're available and not finding this all terribly unpleasant or uncomfortable or, goddess forgive me, boring, would you like to take a walk with me? About 5 blocks down, see a hatching witch-light.
Sun's coming up, streaming through the windows, bouncing off the dozens of picture frames on the wall. Oh, I'm at Linus's house. That's unnerving. Unnerving, that's not the right word. I've never actually spent the night at a man's house, even though I've slept with about a dozen of these city boys. I thought Linus and I were going to do that, but he wanted to talk to me about his pictures. Give me the tour of the current exhibit. There's so many pictures, and they're all so different. When he talked about shopping from home, I thought they'd all be landscape pieces, or all art prints. I knew they'd be framed and pristine. I worried that the order of his life, his curator's eye, would not tolerate a wild creature like me. But Linus's collection is... He's got postcards and newspaper clippings, printouts and sketches. That's an ad from an herbalist catalog. That's a child's drawing that looks like it was stepped on and crinkled up, maybe fished out of the gutter. That's a bird-shaped bit of embroidery that was cut off a discarded backpack and framed. But it's all pretty, all interesting. His word was eclectic. I don't have a word for it, but I like it. Neck stiff, blanket slipped off my shoulder and onto my lap. Linus is asleep still holding. His big eyes are shut and his little mouth is open. He's still wearing his glasses and his bow tie. Still got an arm resting over me because I fell asleep first, watching a movie at his house. But he stayed still all night, didn't move me, didn't try to get away, just let me sleep, like I was something precious he didn't want to disturb. I don't know what to do with that. In the greens, you don't linger. Stillness is dangerous in a place where everything is alive and ready to bite. The land shifts and moves beneath your toes if you pause too long. You move, or you get moved. It's dangerous to sleep in the open in the greens, doubly so if you've got someone to lose. So I never slept in the open, and I never had someone to lose. When the city witches came into the greens to reclaim me for civilization, I had no one to fight them, no one to return to, no one to miss. They called it an act of mercy, of heroism, backing down the feral ones and rehabilitating us. But it didn't feel like rescue. It felt like being trapped, being cornered, being killed. By now, I've learned how to stay inside, how to stay clean, how to work, how to cook my own food and not just eat it raw, how to talk. But I'd never learned to be still, to let myself be seen, to be loved. Not like this. Linus's eyes are shut, but flickering under his lids. He's seeing something in his dreams. I hope it's pretty and interesting. I want to touch his face, but I'm afraid to break this quiet, this peace, before I understand it. So I stay, curled under his arm, looking up at his magic-touched eyes, almost inhumanly large, but not quite. He told me the glasses helped to minimize the effect of the magic, but also that he never minded it. He said it was a harmless side effect that most scryer monitors got used to. They had access to potions that could reverse it, but he'd never minded. He confessed it so nervously. Was he telling me he would change himself if I didn't like it? I do like it. I like that he sees beauty in the ordinary and the small. I like when he talks about wild ivy, or the wall of graffiti poetry, or the actual art in a museum. I like that he talks about all these things like they're part of the same secret truth. And maybe for Linus they are. And he's always trying to share this holy truth, not with the certainty of the city witches, or the weak smiles of the priests. I don't understand it yet. Maybe I never will. But Linus wants me to see it too. And I want to become someone who can see it. When Linus took me to see the hatching Witch-Light, I was afraid. That much magic, unfettered and wild, it doesn't belong in the city. Not where all magic is so tame and soft. That shimmering wish-giver is too much like the greens. Something that will move you, or eat you, or change you without asking if it will hurt you, or if you will recover from it. But because to Linus, the Witch-Light was just something pretty and interesting, I didn't flinch from it. I didn't try to hide. He never seems surprised when I flinch. or by how I peer around a corner before I step into the open. He gives me the space to feel safe and moves slowly with me. I know he sees it. Linus sees everything. But that's the nice thing about Linus. When he looks at something, he looks to see what makes it pretty, what makes it interesting, what makes it itself. Everything is pretty and interesting. He doesn't want to tame it or to rescue it. Just see it as it is and admire it. I didn't mean to fall asleep on him. I should probably get up and sneak away. There's something strange about sleeping upright beside someone else all night, with his arm wrapped around you and your hands on his knee. If we slept like that in the greens, we would be moved together. Neither of us would have lost the other. I won't lose him. I'd miss him, so I'd look for him. I'd fight to keep him. The thought makes me smile. Maybe when he wakes up and we both stretch out our cramps and aches, we'll go to that cafe with the graffiti poetry. Or maybe we'll go to a garden and eat fruit, and I'll point out the birds and the squirrels. I notice them, like I notice the moon. I look for the traces of the wild in this place of order and reason, something small and flitting, something huge and mysterious that reminds me of home. I should wake him up. But for one more minute, I'll stay. Stay in the warmth of his arms, in the hush of the morning, in this quiet, ordinary day. And I will be still.
Well, that's another world saved, doomed, and or slightly weirder than we found it. Either way, you made it.
And when you're ready to plunge back into the abyss, we'll be here, lurking, whispering.
If you liked today's episode, tell a friend. If you hated today's episode,
You can find us on Substack, YouTube, or wherever you scream into the void about podcasts. Drop us a comment. Send us your thoughts in all caps. We love that. You're charming.
and hey, if you want to help keep these stories weird and our tea hot, you can throw some coins our way on Substack. It keeps the lights on. Literally, Lane is writing in the dark.
Paperback Radio, no ads, professional narrators, and humanish weirdos telling you strange tales week after week. After week, after week, after week.
We told you to stay in the back room, Lizzie.
Nah.
Thanks for wandering through the chaos with Paperback Radio.
See you next time.